when Erica tried to say that Sutton was Garcelle's liability. And they turned that shit right back around on them, left them stunned, left them speechless. I lived. We'll get all the way into that. But before I do, if you are new here, hi, I'm Emily and I'm the host of the podcast, She Speaks Bravo. And if you like recaps and discussions about Bravo TV and true crime, then like, subscribe, hit that bell so you never miss a video. And if you're already subscribed, love you, mean it. Now let's get my friend Pia in here so we can recap part 2 of the Beverly Hills reunion. My name is Emily, and I have been watching Bravo TV as a form of self-care for over a decade. Needless to say, I'm a complete mess. Subscribe and follow along for painfully insightful recaps about Bravo, true crime, and other great TV. Hit that bell. Hi, Pia.
Hi, Emily.
Listen.
What?
Pia was just telling me a harrowing work story. I think that people would enjoy that, actually.
Okay, it's more of a PSA for you guys.
Hold on. I
okay.
actually thought that you meant. I thought you meant like a Pia, like as in you. A PSA, like is it like a new segment we could do? This is a PSA.
Oh,
you know
that's funny. I'm not that smart. PSA.
And I was like, ooh, should we do a new segment called PSA?
That was fun. I'm not that smart to come up with something so clever. But you are.
I thought you did. Let's just go with that.
Okay, what is it? This is a
PSA.
If I know it's really trendy to have these really expensive custom made grills, and I'm not talking about like your George Foreman grill where you put a nice smack of beef on there. I'm talking about the grills that you put in your mouth. You know what I mean? Rapper style. And that's very trendy here in LA. And as a restaurant worker, I do not want to spend an hour and a half siphoning through our large trash looking for your grill that you put on your side plate that you did not inform us about. You saw us bust, did not say, and then realized you put your grill on said plate. Now every single worker is in the back going through a large and in charge landfill of trash looking for your grill because you said you paid $2,000 for it and you are in tears. So just
going
maybe get
trash to find to find, by the way, something that was in someone's mouth.
Yeah. And it's not even like sometimes they're like the whole like a mouth guard type of grill, but sometimes they're like individual tooth ones, multiple. Ooh. So you just have like little gold teeth nuggets. And we're looking, and so do you understand how much trash goes in there? Like that's like discarded food.
Yep.
And sometimes even glass. Yes. So we're having to siphon through that to find your grill that you shouldn't probably have because it sounds like you can't afford to lose it. And also just I get it. Like it's trendy, it's cute. Just get a little case.
Yes, that's what we were saying. Get a little case for it.
Get a little case.
A little cute accessory case.
Yeah. And then
that's
put
another opportunity.
Yeah. Put it in there like you're in 8th grade and you have a retainer that you cannot afford to lose because your mom will kill you. That's how you need to be treating your grills. Go back to that time in your life because we do not have time to do that for you. We will
How long did that take?
It took because this person had like individual like nugget grills.
Did you find them all?
No, we found some of them. I think there was like 4.
God. Oh my God.
I think we found 3.
That's and of course she was upset because you couldn't find the 4.
No, honestly, I've had people be upset in the past. Again, this is a trend. This is not a one-off. She was actually quite apologetic on her part. Like she was taking ownership, which is really rare.
Good. I was going to say that's not common.
It was really rare for someone to take ownership and to be really grateful that we were taking the time and going to the lengths because she came back there with us trying to help too. to search in this trash. But yeah,
Yeah.
it is still kind of time consuming because, like, you know, the back servers, busters, whatever you want to call them, they are supposed to be on the floor doing work. That is
Exactly.
not that. So it does take away. And it took like an hour and a half to go through every piece of
Oh,
trash.
that is a lot of time.
And it was like it started out with like one person and two people, and then I just had three people in there with gloves, just like they had a system picking through every tiny morsel. Oh, is that it? No, that's just a kernel of corn. No, that's not it. Corn is shaped like a tooth, by the way. So
that is such a waste of time.
I know.
What time was that? Around what time did that occur?
Probably, like, honestly, right when we're getting busy too, like probably like around 9 or 9:30.
Yep. Peak
PM.
time when you really were like desperate for the assistance on the floor.
And yeah, like I had like a server who's like young, who it had like was their table, so he's so sweet and I'm like, I'm gonna help you find it, and it was like taking way too long. I was like, I can't have you back here like helping her find it, because it's now been like 30 minutes and I'm in your section. I have 2 sections now.
Yeah.
So we're gonna have you go back on the floor.
So get back out there. Okay. Okay, a little bit of business, guys. Please, if you have not already, give me a nice 5-star review on Apple Podcasts. Thank you so much to everyone who's done that. I'm so grateful. If you're not driving a vehicle and you have your hands free, just go on real quick. Boop, boop, boop. Love this podcast. Love Pia. Lots of love Pia reviews, by the way. Lots of Pia's my favorite.
Stop it. No, you guys are my favorite. And you guys, like, literally, my week is so long, and those little nuggets of like kindness that you guys put on YouTube and Instagram and TikTok and all that stuff does not go unnoticed. Really love them, and like they've definitely given me pick me ups when I'm like, I hate my life. So thank you guys so much. I literally do read every single one of them. So thank you.
And then if you're on Spotify, just a quick 5-star rating. You can't review, just a little 5-star. And I'm offering memberships for YouTube peoples. I'm not going to do a Patreon just yet. The plan, by the way, guys, I'm going to do a Patreon eventually once I have a little bit more time on my hands. I don't know when that'll be, but it'll happen. And my plan is, and I haven't told Pia this, but Pia, you're going to love this.
What?
Here's what I'm thinking for the Patreon. As Patreon exclusives, I'm thinking we do like vintage Vanderpump Rules seasons.
Oh,
and like
fun.
Recap. Yeah. And or like vintage Roni seasons, vintage, like do like the classics, but only on the Patreon.
Gotcha. Ooh, like
you
retro,
know what I mean?
Rewind, whatever.
Yeah.
Bravo, rewind.
Oh, like just the hits, just the classics. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But that isn't a lot of extra work, and I don't quite have time to do that. So for now, I'm doing bonus episodes. I'm doing quite a bit of them coming up. And
we did one yesterday.
Pia and I just did the origin of the Fox Force 5. It was very fun, actually.
Yes, it took us on like such a journey, and it also, just like kind of piggybacking off of the Patreon future segments, it kind of like, it was fun to go down memory lane, because it really, the origin story goes back to like Yolanda days, and that was many seasons ago now. So it was fun to like reminisce and remember these like small details that kind of you have in your like back of your mind, and then you're like, oh yeah, that is that underlying reason for that tension in the friendship. It stems from this. So we go on like a really fun journey with that and figuring it out on the way too. So it's awesome.
Yeah, it was really good. So if you are a YouTube member, I've changed the name because one of the members came up with Super Queens, and it's much easier to say.
So if you are level 1 queen, you can vote in the bonus episode content polls. And if you are a super queen, you get access to the bonus episodes early. And actually, this last Origin of the Fox Force 5 bonus episode, I'm not going to release it everywhere and to everyone until next week, just because I want to space it out. And so if you want to get access to it now, go sign up to become a super queen. It's $10 a month or $9.99 or whatever, sales tactic price they wanted me to use. And you also get a shout out. So speaking of shout out time.
Yeah, it is.
Here we go. So Shelly was the first one to sign up. So Shelly, you're number 1.
You are number 1 queen. Shelly.
Lissy, she was number 2.
I like Lissy. I like that name. Lissy. Yeah.
She's from Australia. I cannot do an Australian accent to save my life. I always just go British.
Yeah, I feel like I have to do something really generic, and which is probably super annoying for them, which is like shrimp on the Barbie. Like that's really terrible. I can't do it.
And it's like insulting. So yeah.
Yeah. So we're not going to do that.
We promise, Lissy.
I'm sorry, Lissy.
Yeah, we apologize.
We're really not about it. Okay, bye.
Yeah, we're sorry. Jess. Hey, Jess.
Do we know where do we have access to know more about them? So you knew that Lissy was from Australia. Was anything fun about Jess?
She told me that. She told me that. Yeah, she told me that. Yeah, if you guys want to write in, Jess, I don't know anything about you, so you can write in, let me know. Taylor, don't know anything about you either, Taylor. Yeah,
Taylor and Jess, you're such a mystery to me, and I want to know more.
Rita, I know tons about Rita and I. We go way back. Rita and I, we've been friends. We text. We're cool. Rita, love you, girl.
What do you guys text about? Is it private?
It's yes, Rita and I, it's one of those Instagram friendships that formed, and it's just from having my page, and
she's like an OG-er.
Formed. Yeah, she's been around for a long time.
So we love that, Rita. Big shout outs to you. You are a loyal Bravo friend.
For real. Wait, hold on. Is this one of them? Yeah, Parker. One of my favorite girl names ever.
I have a little cousin named Parker, and oh my God, yes. And Parker is a really, really cute name.
I love it. This next one, I'm going to save her for last because she knows why.
Ooh.
Valeska. Isn't this the best name?
Valeska. I do love it. I have a unique name, so I do love when I hear another unique name of Valeska. I love it.
And Sarah.
We don't.
I need to join. Thank you, Sarah.
Sarah. We want to learn more about Sarah too.
Yeah, we do. And last but not least, my good friend Andrea. Andrea is so Andrea is someone I recently took on a Vanderpump Rules journey. She had not watched Vanderpump Rules, and I told her to watch Vanderpump Rules. So she got COVID and was able to watch with COVID, just the whole thing. And so she was
the whole series.
Yeah. Well, she didn't start from season 1. I think she started from, can't remember, but so she would be voice noting me. Andrea's one of the real ones. Andrea actually was the one who encouraged me to keep doing the podcast. Because if you guys remember, I took a break and was I don't think I'm going to do it anymore. And she was the one who messaged me and was listen, I don't want to tell you what to do, but I'm telling you, you got something. I think you need to keep doing it.
Okay, so everybody, let's take a moment to thank Andrea for encouraging Emily to give us access to all of her Bravo knowledge, including so Andrea, thank you, because I have something to look forward to every week because you encourage Emily to keep going. So thank you, Andrea.
Yeah, Andrea is the real one, but she would voice note me with all of her opinions on things. And for someone watching Vanderpump Rules for the first time is such a fun experience because they it's a wild journey you're about to go on. Kristen alone will take you on a ride.
It's so true. The OG, original tight cast of Vanderpump Rule, every single one of them, you can watch just their stuff on their own, and it's so fucking interesting.
James.
Yes. Both Toms.
Both Toms.
Ariana, especially in the beginning of like, or like if you really want to do like the Ariana, Tom, Kristen triangle, trifecta, Jax, Kristen, Stassi trifecta. I feel like the only people like that you wouldn't be able to go on that journey with is somebody who we will unfortunately be seeing again on our TV in the newer season, Christina Kelly. Like, no, she's boring snooze fest. And then like
she weaseled her way back in.
She sure did. And
out of nowhere.
And then the one honorable mention for someone who I think we randomly look up every now and again, but what's her name from first season? Who was
Laura
Lee, my girl Laura Lee. I kind of want to show. I wish she had gotten a spinoff. I want to see what she's up to.
I can't remember. Was she doing okay last time we checked?
I feel like she was fine. I don't think there was anything that was.
I don't think we could find anything, right? Yeah,
I feel like she's not
noteworthy.
She's not. She was on reality TV when you didn't really become an influencer from being on reality TV. So I just don't feel like she ever kind of got into that like lifestyle after being on Vanderpump Rules.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. That's true. Okay. Love you, super queens. That's out of the way. Okay, it's time. Let's get into this Beverly Hills Reunion Part 2. Okay. We pick up with Diana and Garcelle. Diana really, really weak. I like barely want to touch on this. It's like Garcelle is standing in it very strong though. She's like, I love her energy here with like I just want to be left alone. Like I love the energy she's giving. It's very like sincere and she's just done and over it. And Diana's she didn't expect that energy. She expected a fight, I think, from Garcelle. And then when Diana says, "Did you not go and call me evil?" I'm like, okay, the after show is not comparable to you posting about her on social media.
Yeah. And that's where I'm happy that because it could have fell through the cracks. Because like sometimes it is even in the moment. It's like I'm sure Garcelle is really good at this of remembering everything she says, but it could have been like, when did I call you evil? And like it would have maybe been like took too long to figure out exactly what she was talking about, and then they would have moved on, and everyone would have thought she was Diana was correct. But I was glad that Andy knew that was from the after show. Editors were able to put that in to verify that. So it's like what you're trying to say. Garcelle is saying, Diana, that you're on social media trolling her. Garcelle showed up to her job like everyone else did, which is the after show, for a scheduled sit-down interview where they asked her a direct question, which she responded to. She did not go out of her way off of the clock to do all of that. That's the difference. And that's what we're talking about. You're comparing apples to oranges, which is the theme for the whole fucking episode today.
Yeah. And then this debate over what's worse, being called a cunt or being called evil.
That's not debatable. That's stupid. Like,
that's so dumb. And I don't like that Dorit joined in too. Dorit was like, "Oh no, evil's much worse." I'm like, no one asked you, Dorit.
You want to know why? Do you want to know why all three of those ladies? It's not a coincidence. It's very clear why all three of those ladies had such a visceral reaction and defense of the C word. Is because each of them have said it to another cast member and they got called out for it. And then they were
I forgot about Dorit.
All three of them. Dorit called Camille Grammer a cunt at the end of the table, which was not okay because like they didn't have that type of relationship. Rinna called
I forgot about that.
Kim Richards a cunt. They do not have that type of relationship, and Erica just uses the word cunt all the time. So for her, it really doesn't matter. So that's probably the only person that I would be not shocked about. She had like literally a cunt necklace for like her first few seasons that she wore all the time. So like, I'm not surprised that she doesn't care about the word cunt. And Diana is just an idiot. So I don't know if you opened it because I was just like, I've been sending TikToks to everybody, so I can't even keep up. But yesterday I sent you a TikTok that someone put together, which was verifying. It's because this was more for Kyle and all the people who, or all of them acting, no, actually Rinna too, acting like cunt is not a bad word, because in the reunion, I don't know what season it was with Brandy calls Kyle a cunt during the reunion, and Rinna went out of her way to ask, what did you just call Kyle? And then Brandy was like, a cunt. And everyone was up in arms. And it's just another example of how they're just hypocrites. So I sent that to you yesterday. They had like
I think I might have opened it when I was just waking up.
Yeah. So it's proof.
Oh yeah, you did.
That they only care about it when it's.
Let me watch it now.
Okay.
Let me go forward. Jaime from Rapid.
Wait,
What did you just say that I missed?
What?
Yeah.
Did you just say something that I missed?
What did you just call Kyle?
Okay.
Which is the harsher word? C word or evil?
The C word.
It's a harsher than calling somebody evil.
You think that calling someone evil is
Well, I call
worse
myself
than
the C word.
calling
So.
Okay, so here's what I also like to point out is that Garcelle said, "Oh, she was evil. She was evil." Like,
yeah,
she
didn't say she is. She didn't say she wasn't saying that she is an evil person. She was saying she was evil in that moment. Which, thank you, Emily, for pointing that out. That is not the same thing, and that didn't even get dissected. And they all know that that's what they meant. They were saying that use at that time was an evil thing to do and say, right? And they're making it seem like Garcelle was just saying she is a diabolical, evil person. That is not what she said. Maybe Garcelle does feel like that now because she does suspect Diana.
Garcelle does feel like
but that was not what she was referencing to at the time, and they know that.
Yeah, it was the after show. It's like going on Watch What Happens Live. It's like doing confessionals. They're asked questions that are shady and probing and intentionally intended to get a response that's a little bit scandalous. So that's what they got out of her. And that's what Diana keeps doing. She goes, okay, soulless, motherfucker, evil. And I love when Garcelle goes, you can't talk to her. Like, she looks over it.
Yeah, and she's like, and she's lumping things that like Sutton said.
Yeah.
And like, putting it on Garcelle, and it's so infuriating, and no one besides Sutton and Garcelle are
not even
speaking up.
Sutton, really.
Yeah, she kind of said it, but like under her breath.
But
Garcelle's really
Sutton
defending herself.
was done.
Yeah,
Sutton was done too. When Andy's like, Sutton, is there anything you need to clear up? Sutton goes, oh no, there's nothing we need to clear up. We're very clear on our non-relationship.
Exactly.
And Diana's like, I'm very disappointed in what happened with Garcelle. And Garcelle's like, I didn't even say anything.
And it's just like in real time, seeing how they overlook Sutton. They put everything that anybody says on Garcelle, and they're just taking everything that Garcelle says and escalating it. Like, Garcelle didn't even say it.
So big for when Garcelle says it.
I know. Like, God. By the way, they're screaming cunt at Sutton, screaming at being menacing. Garcelle calmly says, yeah, she was evil for that moment. Just like that, very almost like a throwaway line. You know what I mean? If you almost could have like missed it. It was nothing that was like, oh my, like they just make it. And they do this again later. Oh, we'll get to that again to Garcelle, when they're like always like a mockingbird, but an incorrect mockingbird, repeating what Garcelle says and just embellishes it and makes it so much more theatrical than it is to take the tone and the context away from what actually occurred.
Yeah, Garcelle has always has a tone that is like real, like based in reality. It's like sensible, but they go, oh my God, did you hear her? Like, yeah, we did. It's not that big a deal.
Yeah, I'm like, that is not how it's said. Like, that was
she didn't say it like that.
Maybe that's how you felt when hearing it, and it made you have that emotion, but you're putting something else on it. You're putting a different inflection on it than what actually happened. And they'll replay something and they just hear it and they're still repeating it wrong.
Yeah.
You just heard it again and you're making it bigger. Okay, great. We see you guys.
Diana's like, I'm just so disappointed in what Garcelle said. When she goes to say, I will put my right hand up. She puts
And
her
put her
left hand up.
up.
I will put my right hand up. No one did that to her son. I'm like, okay, now you really made me feel like it definitely was you. That one part right there, I was like,
what is that thing called when you accidentally tell on yourself? It's like a thing that you do when you like, you kind of like you're lying, but then you accidentally tell the truth with your actions. Like you're
Freudian slip.
Yeah, that's what I felt like. She was getting, like, she was already formulating her lie, but her like body was telling the truth. Like, you know what I mean? It's just like, shit. It's my my lies and my actions are not like matching. Buffering
I like
here.
I like that Andy was like, what the fuck is this lawsuit? Who are you suing?
I think the only thing I can say about Andy during this reunion is he's actually, because I think it's not because he actually would have done this if she was in person. I think he was just more mad for himself and insulted that Diana didn't show up. So I feel like he is being actually giving us the pushback on her at times, like with the lawsuit. Like I feel like he's really annoyed with her. So we got the pushback we wanted on that like frivolous lawsuit. Like, who are you suing? But I feel like that wasn't because he actually cares, but it's more of like him being shady because he's mad at her for not coming. That makes sense.
Yeah. Anyway, though, she's like, my lawyers are going to be very busy. My privilege is I have money. I can afford lawyers, so we can get to the bottom of it and maybe prevent it from happening to other people. I'm like, Diana, you need to be quiet. You need to just, like, saying that your privilege is that you have money and that you can prevent it from happening to other people. It just, everything you're saying sounds wrong. Like, no one asked her to sue anybody. Like, no one asked her to get to the bottom of it. No one asked her to sue a person. No one asked her lawyers to, like, go after the John Doe. It's Garcelle's fight. Garcelle can figure it out. It's her son. So her saying that I have money, I can sue someone, I can go find this. It's like, you're just flexing that you have money, though. This just looks like the white savior complex coming in and saying, don't worry, Black woman, I will go find this person who's attacking your son. Garcelle just sits there and Andy's like, how did you feel about that? And Garcelle's like, good for her. I also have an investigation going.
Yeah.
She didn't reach out to me. She didn't publicly post that she was against these attacks happening on my son. She didn't speak out against it. What did she do? She sued John Doe. How does this prove anything, Diana? You sued no one. You told my son to take the post down, remove your name from it. How the fuck are you fighting for my son? And then bitch ass Erica goes, you know what? I think she has the best intentions. And I think you're both just hurt. And I was like, how is Garcelle going to handle this? You know what Garcelle did? Garcelle went, yeah, okay, we're hurt, but I'm not posting about her on social media.
Yep, there it is.
And what did Erica do? She went, yeah, well, yeah, okay.
I mean, none of them, they don't care to defend Garcelle, so it's very apparent. They're only interested in defending Diana. I don't know why, but that's just.
Is it because they went to Hawaii with her? Is it because she pays for shit?
Probably. I mean, I just don't understand. Like, I don't know what any other reason would be for the reason why all of them have such a like reaction to defend Diana when she seems indefensible. But these ladies have proven time and time again that they are just in their own world, and that is not what everyone else is seeing. So I think they're just so used to gassing each other up that they just can't see what's actually happening.
Andy, because he does his job, he goes, what kind of stuff she posting about on social media? And Garcelle realizes that like this is his job, right? Like, but she just goes, I'm done talking about her. And he goes, thanks, Diana. See you later. And she's like, okay, thank you, bye-bye. And they just like take her fucking screen off. they break for lunch, and Erica and Rinna like talking about how Garcelle is creating division in the group. How did you guys land there?
It's because it's again, it's like what Rinna said. She feels like in her like Instagram post it on online, like she feels like anytime they talk about Garcelle, it makes them seem like racist. So right now they feel victimized. So, and the person that's doing it to them is Garcelle. So that's what's happening right now, and they're in their feelings, and they're unable to see Garcelle's point of view because they feel victimized.
All our children have been threatened. All our children. Garcelle saying that we were the ones who did the bots. It causes division in this group. We are the ones that are being threatened. Fuck you guys. I hate them.
Yeah, I know. This part 2 is like very hard to watch.
Yeah. Sutton goes into fucking Garcelle's room wearing those socks. This scene reminded me of like doing the plays in high school because their outfits are so bad. Like Sutton's like shitty dress.
Yeah.
It's like this looked like the play. Like this looked like when you were in a play in high school and like you were backstage.
Yeah, no, honestly, as the reunion has gone on and like you see the in between intermission, I guess, between
the intermission,
the tapings. I was like, I really don't like anybody's outfit anymore. It starts getting more tackier and tackier as we go on. I'm like, I like when I was like looking.
What about Kyle's? I actually like Kyle's more and more.
Oh, I started hating it more and more.
Did you really?
Yeah, it starts looking more tacky as it goes on, and so does Erica's. I keep like
Erica's looks worse and worse.
Every time I like think about the original list I created, I keep rearranging them, and a lot of swapping for me.
Like, no, Erica's gets worse and worse and worse and worse and worse.
I don't know if it's like,
it's
again, maybe
cutout.
Yeah, I don't hate it. I hate I really actually hate Kyle, Erica, and Dorit's outfits the most right now. I actually don't mind
Dorit's too.
Yeah,
you don't mind Sutton.
I actually don't mind Sutton's anymore. It's like a few pegs up now. Like I don't even think I mind. I don't even think I mind Garcelle's outfit anymore because, like, for some reason I'm getting so tired of seeing that fucking glittery shit, fucking off the rack looking blue dress. I'm so tired of it. It's hurting my eyes.
And her hair.
The hair still, I like the hair, but like
her skin looks fantastic. Dorit's skin is amazing. All of their skin actually looks really good.
I thought their skin looked good until I saw like a really unflattering, and it kept happening. I kept seeing an unflattering still, and it's to be fair, it was like a video still of Kyle, on a very close up one of Kyle, and it was just her skin looked bad, leathery is the word I want. I was like, ooh, it was bad. It was like not flattering. It's like zoom out. But it was also like, I feel
was
like
it when she was fighting with Crystal? I feel like I know what you're talking about.
Maybe. And I also, you know what, now that I think about it, I really also dislike her earrings, Kyle's. I keep looking at them and I'm like, I hate those earrings. I really hate them. And I keep on wanting to be like, I feel like we should switch them out. I know it might not look good for what's continuity, but like I fucking hate those earrings. Like very distracting.
Because I keep wondering if they're gonna hit her shoulder wrong. Like,
well, she already knocked it out once in the first part one, and she was like fiddling with it to get it back on. She did at some point when we cut away and it was back on. But I hate them. I think they're ugly.
Yeah, I'm equally distracted because I keep watching them. Like, is she gonna knock them out? Are they meant to fit on her shoulder?
You know what the problem with Kyle is, and it's just I think why I feel like her outfit keeps getting uglier and uglier. She has too much shit going on all the time with her outfits. It's like if it's not the spiky like early 2000 hair from last reunion, it's like the dresses already has a lot, and they got like little metal things on it looking like a parachute, and then you got like fucking spiky. Like, come on, pick something. Something can't, like, one thing needs to be the focal point here, and you have too many clashing items for me, and I don't like it. It's too much. And Erica too, with her bouffant. Like
Erica's is really bad.
Like so much hairspray went in there. So much.
And her eye makeup is so specific too. So it's like a lot of eye makeup and a lot of hair and a lot of.
Yeah.
Kyle's package though pissed me off because her package was pointless. It was like, to talk about her tattoos. And then I was like, I was going to type out what her package was. And I was like, what the fuck is this package? It was fluff.
Yeah. I feel like Andy went super easy on Kyle, but I know it's because she's going to have.
I think that was why. But I was also like, you could have cut this. Like, it was like, her daughter getting married and having a big family for Thanksgiving and her going, what's wrong with being Kyle?
Yeah, and then
I was like, that's it.
And like again, as you I think pointed out last week, they definitely didn't even touch on the fact that Kyle was also making fun of Dorit's charity. Like that could have been something that they talked about, but apparently.
I thought that's what they were going to show in that, because when they got to that scene, I thought that's what they were going to show.
Yeah,
I was like, and then I was like, oh, they're just setting it up for her to say what's wrong with being Kyle. I would have been more upset if Garcelle's package right after wasn't also a fluff package, but Garcelle also got pretty much like a fluff package too. But in Kyle's package, they talk about the Mauricio Dorit rumor.
But I didn't even get to. I thought that we were going to get to stick on that for a tiny bit longer than we did, and that was annoying. And no one's going to talk about the kid. They showed it, but no one's going to talk about Dorit accidentally kissing Mauricio. I thought Kyle was about to say that because, and then Dorit hugged both of them. And I thought she was going to say, and then she didn't even want to touch that. I know she saw it, but she didn't want to touch it because it would have opened up possibly a can of worms that she wasn't ready to tackle that day.
We know, because Kyle is so jealous and competitive.
Oh, absolutely. She wouldn't have been able to hide that if they even like broached that subject. So she just kind of like glazed past it as if she didn't see it. And I know she did because she's Kyle. We're
like, sure, Kyle, you don't think about it at all.
Like, we'll know that if she cares when we see next season and we see the distance that Mauricio and Dorit have, and that they're probably never ever in the same room ever again. That will be your tell that Kyle did not actually. She was not okay with the rumors. That is how you will know.
Mm-hmm. Erica tells this hilarious, playful story about PK. And she's like, it was so funny when PK came up to us and said, are you girls in porn? And Dorit was like, I didn't know that story. Mm-hmm. And she's like, it was funny. It was just PK being PK. I'm like, oh, PK is kind of gross. So that tracks.
I mean, but the thing is, it's an odd story to tell if you guys are such good friends, kind of like not flattering to her husband. And she also said it in a way where like, it just wasn't like, I would, if that was my friend and she told that story and we had never even talked about that, I would have felt like, are you trying to embarrass me? That's what I would personally, and it felt like that's how Dorit took it as well. It wasn't funny to her. And I'm not saying that Erica meant to do it in a shady way, but it definitely came out that way, which is what I think.
I think she meant it that way.
I mean, I wouldn't put it past her, but I mean, also it was kind of like she also assassinated his character in a way, not saying that it wasn't a correct assessment of it, but it was like, and that's just who he is. So you're saying he's a gross thing. And kind of, I felt like Dorit got PTSD from like their first season together with Pantygate. And again, and I don't know how calculated this was, or if it came out in an organic way for Erica, and then she knew how it was going to play, because it obviously she could probably feel, or maybe they had, I don't know, like her and Dorit had a conversation off screen after the reunion about that conversation, and that's what led to Erica at BravoCon saying the whole Dorit and PK thing. Maybe it was like that was like the seed. She was like, well, you know what? They're going to air that. I've seen clips of it already. Let's just roll with it for what we've talked about, Emily, like setting up a storyline. But we don't think Dorit's a part of the plan.
Yeah, this
So
is a
it's
little
like,
this is
yeah.
a little preview of what we talked about in the bonus episode.
Yeah.
We don't necessarily know Dorit's on to all of their inside
Like they're,
planning.
yeah, like they're like premeditated storylines that they're like for Erica, she's playing the game. Like we need to have something new. Cause like how many, like Erica's like kind of running thin on this. Like we're talking about your lawsuits thing. Like we're on season 3 of you being in this lawsuit. Like we need something else from you. So she needs something fresh and she knows that. But I don't think Dorit knows that that's what she's doing.
And I also think I think Erica wants Dorit to stay on the show because hello. And she's like, Dorit, you need something. So she's like, here you go. And Dorit's like, I can't believe Erica would do that. Not realizing. She's like, I think Dorit still doesn't get it. Dorit's still like, how could Erica have done that? It's like, Dorit.
But you know who I do think gets it? PK.
Because
because PK responded, but I feel
you're
like
right.
But I feel like PK responded like how Dorit's supposed to respond, but Dorit wasn't doing it. So PK's like, I'll take over. And now they're doing.
PK got it, or do you think he was genuinely offended?
No, I think PK got it. I think he understands the game.
Okay.
And I think he wants to be on TV just as much.
I don't know. I'm TBD on that because PK also seems like an idiot to me.
Yeah, I think he's an idiot, but I think that he's a little bit better because he is in that like PR world with like managing boy George. I think he understands how this kind of stuff works. And Dorit's a little bit more naive. Yeah, I think Dorit's
because he went pretty hard for Erica.
I know. And I think, but you have to do that. If you want a really good, believable storyline, we need the conflict to have been starting. Yeah, you have to commit to it. Can't see Dorit did like a little like, it's people who are like, that's not enough.
Yeah. Not enough. No, hers was so weak.
Yeah, we have to have five. That's why I was like, I think PK was like, I'll take over. Like, I know what's happening right here. And he is really cheeky. So is Erica. So their back and forth will be more fun than Dorit. Dorit's not going to be able to bring it. Only way Dorit's going to be able to bring it is if we actually get her mad. Yeah. So that's what they're doing right now. So she can't know what's happening.
Yeah, you're right. She can't. She has to be truly in the dark and not. How do you get her mad anymore? She's like a robot.
She's so scared. She's so scared.
Ever since Puppygate.
That shook her. She
shook her too much.
Yeah, she's very scared.
Damn it.
Oh well.
Okay, so Garcelle's package also fluffy, like very like just she bought a beach house, she bought a Birkin. That's kind of all it was. But then we get into the book topic. Her Cosby story was chilling.
That's so scary.
Also, so Garcelle that her gut told her to get out of there.
Yeah.
And she said that was what that chapter was about. I always listen to my gut. And it's like, yeah, we have seen that. Like, we have seen her just listen to it. Just like, nope, she sticks to her guns, man.
Yeah.
She's got great instincts.
And it's crazy that she had because right now we're seeing Garcelle as how old is she? Like in her 50s now or something like that. And yeah. And that happened to her when she was 18. Whoa. I was I don't think I would have had the wherewithal to understand because I would, you're young, you're just in the industry, you just want to make it. And Bill Cosby is everyone's dad. He's he was the poster child of do the right thing. Why would you think that he's gonna do something like that to you? He's literally the example of the person you're supposed to trust. So for her to knowing all of that and still trust herself is a test to her character and makes me be glad that I have been right about her. And I do have this natural trust whenever she speaks.
Right? It's like she's born that way.
Yeah.
Okay, so Andy asked Erica, did you at least skim the book before you threw it in the trash? And this big revelation, which Bravo sleuths had already figured out. They'd already done the math, looked through the trash and evidence and figured out that it was actually Lisa Rinna's trash.
Mm-hmm.
So this wasn't a huge revelation for a lot of people that had already seen it online. So we knew it was Rinna's. And this whole thing about how kids were off limits, it was literally just a retelling of the story from Rome. Like it was a retelling of the story we had seen already. It wasn't saying anything negative, but I think this was just an excuse for
it
Rinna
absolutely was an excuse. She was looking for
to be up in
upset.
arms.
Mm-hmm.
And so her fucking lawyer calls Garcelle's manager and they come up with a second edition, but Garcelle's like, we've since moved on. I don't want to reopen it. But it really was a reach.
And I
Rinna.
also think that Rinna didn't expect Garcelle to take ownership of, like, even though she wasn't giving any new information about her daughter, it wasn't like some scandalous thing and salacious thing and like using Rinna's daughter's eating disorder as a way just like to gain, like for her book to like gain money, profit off of her daughter's eating disorder. It was literally a blurb. Well, I mean, I'm not sure. I didn't read Garcelle's book, but it seemed as if it was a blurb of the retelling of what happened on the show. But even with that, and me thinking that that's not a big deal, Garcelle said, if you didn't like it, they went out of their way. I respect that. I'm going to take it out. And that was that, you know? And so the pettiness that came afterwards, I feel like is just ridiculous.
Then to find out the way that this is told to, we've already said there's a group chat among them, but like this proves it.
Yeah.
Rinna sent the video of her throwing the book out to the group chat, and Garcelle said, yes, and I heard there was snickering about it. And then Rinna goes, oh, I don't know about that. Mm-hmm. And Andy goes, wait, this group chat, were you on the group chat? And Garcelle goes, no, there's another group chat. I'm like, yep, we have said so many times that they must be sending a group. There's group chats left and right about like scheming and shit for the show. And I can just see Rinna sending the video of her throwing Garcelle's book in the trash, and all of them being like, ah, ha, 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 yeah, fuck you, Garcelle. And that's got to hurt so much for her.
That little segment was really hard to watch because it started out so positive, like celebrating Garcelle's book. Then Rinna took the light away from that with her actions. And then again, backing up like what you said, that we now know that they do have a separate group text where it seemed like it was there to make fun of the people that they don't consider cool, right? But because Garcelle heard there was snickering, leads me to believe that Crystal was on that group chat, because who else in that group chat would even
break rank and say it?
Yeah, because you know what I mean? I feel like that was probably at a time where Crystal was still on good terms ish with them, where maybe she was like, you know, still privy to some of these like little offhand comments that they make.
Oh, because who else would have told? Yep. Okay.
That's and if they did something like that, how Crystal can be, she's like, I can't be a part of like that part. Like that part's going too far. Yeah. And she wouldn't have felt right being a part. Like, you know, it was probably Crystal who said the snickering thing. Like, who else? It's not going to be Kyle. Yeah. It's not going to be Erica. It's not going to be Dorit. And it's not going to be Rinna who did it.
Hold on. Back it up 1 second. It's possible it could be Kyle. It's the only possible now because that's the only other possibility because of where Kyle is with Rinna now, because you know how Garcelle's been there for Kyle. So there is that possibility.
I can agree with you on that.
Crystal is more likely, but there is.
I can agree with that because
there is that possibility.
There is a possibility of
because Kyle has been like, whenever Kyle has a falling out with the Fox Force bitches,
she tend to gravitate to Garcelle. Yeah. So right now I feel like the only options could be because Sutton's not on that damn group chat.
No, never.
Kathy's not on that group chat.
It's basically the group chat should be called "We Hate Sutton."
Yeah. So it has to be. I'm kind of leaning more towards Kyle just because
Right?
Crystal is a liability. She's so like
Risky,
you never know
risky.
you never know where she's gonna sweat. Okay, sorry, now I'm just getting too much.
This is fun.
Then I was gonna say, okay, this is very convoluted. It's probably just Kyle, but follow me on this journey. Follow me on this journey. Okay. Okay.
Go.
I'm gonna go back to Crystal for a second. This is a long shot, but she's not on the group text. Diana is Crystal's friend. Diana told Crystal then told Garcelle.
Oh, that's possible. Very possible.
That's because Crystal ain't on the group chat.
Crystal's
Diana
not on the group
is,
chat.
but Diana is. And Diana was like, oh yeah. And then look at this. And then
Rinna threw a towel, we all laughing. Ha ha ha. That's all. They're very possible. So it got back around to Garcelle. Okay, so there's multiple options.
Guys, pick which one you think it is.
Yeah, you pick multiple choice. Let us know in the comments who you vote on for that one. Either way, it got back to Garcelle.
Correct.
And it must have felt like shit. Imagine how shitty that feels.
Oh yeah, no, honestly, I'm not laughing about that at all. No, again, it's just really hard because they're making such light of throwing her book in the trash that she worked really, really hard on. And I don't care if Rinna was upset about her daughter being a part of it because Garcelle immediately rectified that situation. Yeah. And it seemed as if Rinna accepted it. And it was, because she said it herself, Rinna's like, and then it was fine. But it wasn't fine because then you threw her book in the trash and made fun of her.
Oh, bitch. I like that. Erica did, but I like that Rinna eventually got dragged for not recycling. I didn't really pay attention to the contents of the trash, but then when they showed it again, I'm like, ew, yeah, she was not recycling at all.
I did pay attention to the contents of the trash, but I didn't associate it with not recycling. I was just like, why do you have such an old phone? Like, it's like a really old phone from like 1988 specifically.
Yeah.
That was,
and of course everyone was like, phone. is that the phone that Tom had, blah blah blah.
I should have known it was Rinna because Carrie Hamlin looks like a hoarder.
He does. He does. He has the most hoarder looking vibe ever. LVP then came for Erica. We remember that. And she's like, I should have got Erica a scratch and sniff book. And then Erica clapped back with, oh, that's rich coming from someone with garlic, Chardonnay, and cigarette breath.
Listen, I love Lisa. I mean, yeah, Lisa Vanderpump, but that was a very fun, fast burn. Not gonna lie.
Yeah. It was a good clapback. Real good.
It was quick. I liked how quick it was.
Yeah. And we've heard people talk about Rinna's breath before. I think it was Camille.
Not Rinna, LVP. Right?
LVP, sorry. I do this all the time. Whenever I listen back to whenever I'm editing, the amount of times I say the wrong name, it must drive listeners crazy.
It's hard. There's so many people and some people have the same name or very close to the same name. It's a lot.
I did it so many times in my last Salt Lake City recap.
Oh, really?
Like, oh my God, I kept saying the wrong name. It was annoying me. Okay, then we get to this part was I lived. So Andy goes, so your son Oliver is working for LVP. By the way, I'm really glad they did not get into any of the Oliver drama. Thank God they didn't bring any of that up. Maybe they did and it just didn't get aired. I'm really glad.
Oh, of the
Oliver with his ex-wife or whatever.
The thing is, I don't know if we're safe with that yet because I feel like, do you think that they're going to
save it for next week, maybe?
Yeah, because
because they haven't got to Erica's drinking yet. You're right.
I think they're putting that in the last part. So I'm thinking they're gonna just like kind of with like how they like what's her name? Kyle's package was a little fluff because a lot of
you're right.
So
you're right. You're right.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Like that's Erica's package because she got so much heat for that. So they can't like they're so I don't know if
spoke too soon.
Yeah, I don't know.
Spoke too soon. Okay, you're right. Take it back. Knock on wood. Hopefully they don't because he's not technically on the show, but he is going to be clearly very featured this season on Vanderpump Rules because
Right.
he does hook up with, or he kisses Raquel.
Raquel
And
in
so,
Vegas.
and that's, yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, so Andy's like, how did that whole thing, come about? And she's like, oh, I met her at this Haiti event she was throwing. And I said, my son needs a job. And Andy asks, knowing damn good and well the answer, when's the last time you saw her? Oh, I saw, and she smiles because she's like, when I fucking saw her. I saw her recently. And Rinna, didn't you just film with her? I'm like, oh, here it is. And Andy goes, how'd that make you feel? Rinna was like, I thought, wow, okay, that's great. I'm like, okay, so I remember when we thought that the whole Oliver's ex-wife or current wife or whatever, like all that stuff came out, coincided with the picture of LVP filming with Garcelle. We did not think that was a coincidence.
Yeah.
Rinna being visibly so pissed off at Garcelle being like, oh yeah, you filmed with her, didn't you? I was like, see, that proves it to me. That really made it obvious to me that it's not a coincidence that suddenly his ex-wife goes public with all of their tea. I'm telling you, someone reached out to her and said, go post on social media all this shit.
Literally, all I could hear when you said that was Rinna's voice, like, yeah, you bet you I reached out. Because they need to know. That I just hear. Because like whenever she gets like called out for doing something shady like that, if it were to come out that it was her that reached out, she'd be like, you bet your ass I did. Because people need to know.
I can hear her too. Whoa. God. Yeah, I did. I sure did.
That's my job. That's my job. That's what we're here to do. Tell the truth.
Own it, baby.
If he's going to be on this show, he's going to have to own it, baby.
You better believe I did.
That's what you do when you sign up for one of this. You know this, Andy.
You better believe I did that.
Better believe, and I do it again.
She's not going to be able.
Poor girl over here.
He is not going to be able to do a show and tell his truth and leave her, this poor mother, single mother at home, not telling her story.
Meanwhile, Erica over here is getting all the heat for hitting on a happily married man. He's in Vegas on another Bravo show, misleading not only this young girl, but his baby's, his wife, the mother of his children. Yeah, Andy, you bet your ass I did.
Yep.
I did.
Yep.
Because this girl doesn't have a platform, but you know what? I do.
Oh my God. It's happening, isn't it? It's going to happen. It happened. Like, it was just too fucking coincidental because she could not hide her disdain. She's like, oh yeah, didn't you film with her? I thought, wow. Which the jealousy that was seething from her pores.
Yeah.
It's like, well, unfortunately, Rinna, like, LVP is still on TV. She still does have a whole TV show. You can't take that away from her. I know you wanted her to basically die and wither away into the ground because she's no longer on Beverly Hills, but she did have her whole other show. You couldn't take that away from her.
Which is why she didn't show up for the reunion, because she was like, I could just do my other show and not have to deal with you ladies.
Like, I have Vanderpump Rules. I called it Vanderpump Rules.
So that was very
smart.
And
I know that you hate, Rinna, that you forever burned that bridge with Vanderpump, but you did. And Garcelle didn't.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, that's her right to go film with her.
Yeah, I feel like Rinna gets really upset when she does it to herself, that she burns these bridges. Like, I feel like she was really upset that she prematurely burned that bridge with Yolanda, because then
I was going to say Yolanda.
Right? Because she was so, she took, LVP threw her the ball, but she really ran with it. And then Amelia and Delilah wanted to become models, and then I feel like it took them a little bit longer than it would have if she hadn't burned that bridge with Yolanda, because of course Gigi and Bella are like the top models, and then she didn't realize that they were going to blow up like literally the season after. those
Yeah.
Gigi and Bella. And she was like, I think I feel like that was her regret. She's like, fuck, I just fucked that up. I just fucked that up for my daughters.
Yeah. She even admitted it, I think, at a reunion one year. Andy asked if her behavior ever has screwed up jobs for her daughters. And she had a delayed response and then had to eventually be honest and say, yeah, it has. And Andy was like, really? She's like, that's all I'm going to say.
Yeah, that's definitely Yolanda blacklisting them.
Right?
Well, that's Hollywood, baby. You cannot do that.
You cannot burn every bridge, which is why I can't wait for Kathy Hilton to come out and be like, you are the biggest bully in Hollywood. And everyone knows it.
And that's such an iconic line. And I think it's definitely going to go down in like the Bravo line history. But I do think it's really funny. The meme that people did was like, I don't know about the biggest bully of Hollywood, but in Hollywood, more like the biggest bully on Paramount. It's like, don't give her that.
Right? That's
like,
too much of a compliment.
Yeah, like she ain't no one. Also, did you see her latest post? It was like too cringe. She's always cringed to me.
Oh
on
my
social
god,
media.
the promo for her eye makeup.
Yeah, like the and she's like really leaning into everyone talking about she's a soap opera actress and like the slap, the like, you know, embellishment soap opera slap. I was like, I'm getting secondhand embarrassment, and I always do with her Instagram posts, but this one I was like, someone take her fucking phone, please.
This one's next level bad.
Yeah.
It's bad. And it's like, it goes on and on.
It's so really long.
Like the promos should not be longer than really 30 seconds, but it goes on and on. And then
I think she introduced a third character. I was like, that third character could have got
didn't need
cut.
Cut. And like that goes on and on. Like the third, like it cut it. We got it. Like
I know there was a fourth one that someone was like, you have to cut this fourth character.
she's like, okay, she's like, the director's cut gets released. Here's the extended version that's coming out later. She's like, okay, it's over.
God.
Okay, so when they break, it's really sad because Erica and Rinna are like joking about how funny it was that Rinna let Erica just take the fall for the whole photo.
Yeah.
And the way Garcelle is like looking at them while they joke about it, it was heartbreaking.
I'm like, ooh, I just got chills thinking about it. I've watched that particular part many times over, and I also was curious to see how other people felt. I try not to, before we record, look at too much things of other people's opinions because I don't want it to with my own thoughts. But I was curious. I just had to see how people were feeling about that, and I'm glad that I'm not alone, and I knew you would feel the same way, so I wasn't worried about that. But Garcelle is really strong, and I think that's why for me at least it affects me so much whenever I see them actually crack her a bit. And that's not to say not saying she's weak at by any means, but she's human, and that was really mean, and they did it on purpose, and they did that. They were doing that thing that you do when you're a child and you want to make someone mad and you try to like make light of something knowing it's going to really hurt them, and they were doing it. They're talking loud enough for Garcelle to hear.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like it felt very purposeful the way that they were doing it. It felt taunting.
Yeah.
And Garcelle, and I know Garcelle knows what they're doing, but that doesn't make it not hurt. And to see her eyes and they edited it so we can really see her having to just sit there and almost like, I feel like she was swallowing her emotion. I could feel her swallowing it, like gutted me.
Heartless.
Gutted
they thought it was
me.
So funny.
It really gutted me. And it's like, I'm sorry for those who still don't see the way that they treat Garcelle differently and isolate her, which is what she said a lot of times in her first season. These are because they catch themselves a little bit more because they don't want to look bad, but this is them, and that's their true behavior. And that's it. Those are the examples that Garcelle is constantly having to deal with within this group, and it sucks. to watch. It really does. And I'm sure it sucks even more for her to have to deal with.
Yeah.
Oh,
All right,
I hate
so when
those
they come-
bitches.
I hate them
I hate
too.
those bitches so fucking much.
When they come back from break, we go to the Rinna Lois package. And it is, thank God, the intro to it is Andy saying, a lot of people thought you were using your mother's death to justify your behavior. It's like, oh, good. I'm glad that they intro it that way.
Yeah.
So they come back from it and she's like, I've done the best I can. I'm sorry for being crazy and a maniac and doing what I've done. And I'm just trying to walk through life and that whole bullshit.
Yeah.
But what's crazy to me is as she's talking about losing her mom, I'm not crying and no one's crying. Like the topic of losing someone's mom is usually when the whole cast is crying.
Yeah, like the tissues are always being passed around. Not one tear.
Not one other person is crying.
Not even Erica.
Isn't that crazy?
Which means they, in some way, at least subconsciously agree with the viewers that she is really using this to her benefit. They will never say it, but it's telling that they're not emotional. Even Dorit's not emotional. She gets emotional.
I feel like Dorit was even trying to get emotional. Like I saw Dorit at one point be like making the face, and I was like, and I looked close. Is she crying? She wasn't.
No, they know that what she's doing. It's not. And again, I don't think anybody is debating that Rinna isn't really truly hurt, gutted, destroyed by the death of her mother. I know they had a close relationship. I know that was tough, but how she behaved has nothing to do with Lois's death and has everything to do with that's who she is, because that is who she's always been on the show. This is not new behavior. I would 100% be into what she was saying, that this was about Lois's death, if she hadn't had all those seasons where she was acting exactly the same. So unfortunately, that doesn't fly for me.
And if her erratic behavior had been directed at everybody.
Yeah, exactly.
She'd been yelling at Erica, yelling at Dorit, yelling at Kyle, but it was only towards Sutton.
And I'm glad Sutton did make that very clear. That I was really happy that, because I wasn't sure if they were just going to act as if that was just going to be it. And she got to give her general apology. And I'm glad Sutton kind of put her feet to the fire with that one. I don't know. I just saw this before we logged on. So I didn't have a chance to send it to you, but I saw that not Doris. Who was Doris? I think I was putting Doris. I was putting Denise and Doris. Denise and Dorit together. I saw that Denise Richards has entered the chat. She watched the part 2 last night, and she has entered the chat with her own statement about part 2 and Rinna's behavior. Do you want me to read it?
Is this on? What did she put this on?
I think she put it on her Instagram. Let me just double check.
Oh my God.
I saw it on TikTok, but it was like reposted from.
Ooh, I'm so excited.
And it's from it was posted by like a reliable Bravo person. It was posted by Morgan P Talks. So I know
yeah.
So I know she's verified it. So I believe it. Okay, here it is. She put. It looks like this. Yeah, this definitely was on her story, because the way it looks. That's like definitely an Instagram background story. And it's she put, I watched #RHOBH last night. While I have empathy for Lisa Rinna losing her mom, what is her excuse all the other years on the show for being so cruel and so vindictive? So, girl, Denise wants back on the show. She's entering the chat.
Sucker.
She is entering the chat.
Oh, yes. All right. The only thing is, I don't want Denise back on the show.
I know we talked about this yesterday, so it's like,
I get that Denise wants back on this show, but that means Rinna will stay on the show.
Yeah, and again, nothing against Denise Richards, I like her, but if it means that Lisa has to say, then I don't need her back. Sorry, please.
Yeah, here's the thing, as listeners, viewers, I know we're like, get Denise back in here, but that means that Rinna would stay. Do you want Denise back bad enough that you would like Rinna to stay? Or would you prefer Rinna be gone? Because there's no need for Denise to come back.
Right. I mean, I don't even know if I should say this, but the only thing, again, I feel like we said this before in like, again, like the bonus thing, we talk about this a little bit, but if for some world that Rinna's on this back on our screens, like I need it to be a bloodbath of her getting dragged.
A bloodbath.
Yeah. And a user somewhere online said this too. They're like, as much as I don't want Lisa Rinna back on my show, if she is back, I want, and every person that's wronged her, like LVP, Denise, Yolanda, Kim. And she was like, I want to see that punishment. I want to see her get it and then fire her ass after it.
Yeah.
Like they're like, that's like, if you do this to me, it has to be on that level, and then you still fire her after she gets that punishment, because I want to see it.
And then the reunion seating is all of them on the outside and Lisa Rinna right in the middle, and they're all just attacking her.
She has to take it.
Yeah, they're like they don't even have a segment like for her, like Rinna, this season you know were a great nom. No, nothing. It's just all the years of her being terrible, and like Lisa Vanderpump's turn, then Denise Richards' turn.
I feel like it would be like it's like instead of it's like the reunion but intervention stile for Lisa.
Yes.
Like everybody gets to see what they like, how she's wronged them.
They bring prepared letters. They can read them.
Like victim impact statements. Like
victim impact statements. You have to get up and read them.
Who here has been victimized by Lisa Rinna? Mean Girl style. Everybody raises their hand. Production crew. The hair makeup people. The people who prepare the food. Harry Hamlin. That's what happens.
Okay. Okay. On that note, here's one thing I'm confused about.
What?
When they asked if Lois ever watched the show, she's like, "Are you kidding me? Of course." And she just got a kick out of me. I'm like, really?
I hate that because again,
she did.
I don't. But I mean, that's her child. I don't know if she got a kick. Like, I mean, I think that's her child, and she's gonna love. And she loved Rinna unconditionally, and I think that it was just. Like that's her
Maybe
thing.
She just didn't know what was going on. Maybe she's like, I'm not 100% sure what's even happening.
And also it's TV. So she's like, that's just something that they do. It's a character that she's playing. You know what I mean? She doesn't associate it with, because I'm sure Rinna is not that way in their private life. You know what I mean? Like the Rinna we get to see on TV. So for her, Lois might have taken it as just like an acting role. So sure, she was like, this is a character that Rinna has come up with. And this is a persona. It's not the Rinna she knows. So like, I'm not taking that with like the word of God, you know what I mean? And that's also Lisa Rinna's interpretation of Lois's interpretation of the show. Okay. So
agreed.
And Lois is not here to let us know and verify that. So
and even if we were to ask Lois, she'd be like, "Oh yes, I get it." She doesn't. I doubt she watched the whole episode.
Yeah, I think she just was.
I think
she had fun with it. We loved Lois, and I'm again. She's not gonna allow. She tried to make that again a way to scapegoat all of her behavior, and I wasn't having it, and I'm not even gonna. Okay, girl.
Okay.
Hey.
Again. Don't use Lois anymore.
Please, like let her
rest in power.
Thank you.
We go to Sutton's package about like, are her words clumsy or a liability and blah, blah, blah. So we go to the package. Okay. So in the package, I had issues with the examples they use.
Yeah.
Fine. I will give them Charity Gate. I'll give them that. Fine. I'll let them have it.
Okay.
The gun to my head, I will absolutely.
Yeah, that one was her worst moment. That was her worst moment. I can't lie.
I will not let them have the example of Diana and the miscarriages, and I won't let them have that.
Yeah, so -1. So it's 2.
-1. I won't let them have the example with Erica and your lawsuits and all that. You're the liability. I won't let them have that either.
I almost feel like because they try to add those two, it makes me take away the other 2. So it's 0. We're at 0.
Yeah, we're at 0. I'm like,
did we keep up with the math here?
Don't count.
Because you did that, then it canceled out that, carry the 2.
No. Because, excuse me, how about Erica then had clumsy words for saying that Sutton was a liability when, in fact, that doesn't equate at all. So how come Sutton isn't allowed to say that Erica's the liability? No, didn't count. And
what about?
And by the way, Diana's bullshit text message about the miscarriages and I can't go to Garcelle's because I'm on bed rest was bullshit. It was just her trying to insult Garcelle.
Right.
And that's why Sutton was like, I'm sorry, you said you were on bed rest, but now you're here. What the fuck are you doing here?
So that so you know how we got rid of Diana pretty much at the top of the episode? That kind of pissed me off because that means she's not getting a package, which is where we would get all of that dissecting, which is fucking unfair because then we don't get an opportunity to really hash that out for Sutton because we don't have Diana. Yeah. That's not fucking fair. So we shouldn't have even brought that up because we don't get to fairly dissect that because we're still living in a world where we're pretending like Diana didn't actually start this whole thing with shade and that she didn't march into Garcelle's party rude as fuck with that fucking book
with a passive aggressive book present, which wasn't a present.
Yeah.
So I don't want to hear it. So anyway, they use those aren't examples.
Yeah, okay? those are not examples.
The gun to the head is
that one was the only one I actually think that she did, and she did need to apologize because especially I know we all had our opinions of whether the robbery was real or not, but it's kind of like even with my strong opinions, especially when it first happened, I would never be making fun of. And I don't necessarily think that Sutton meant to do that. She's just
it was bad,
chaotic, but it was bad. That's inexcusable. And I think she did a really good job of taking accountability for it. And I think Dorit did really appreciate that. Because there was no buts.
Agreed.
There was no buts about
no
it,
buts.
which I liked because I feel like a lot of those ladies, and they've been doing it, they say a half-ass apology, but have a butt excuse attached to it. And I think Sutton really did a good job of, she didn't even bring up her father's thing during her apology. I know she talked about it beforehand, so that's where we're getting the context. The other ladies brought it up. She never put it a part of it, and I actually commend her for that because she was taking that excuse out of it as well, which I am apologize. It doesn't matter whatever you went through, it just still was not okay.
Exactly. And Dorit was like, I needed that, thank you. So it's like, okay, good, done, moving on.
Yes.
Then we move on to the conversation of Kyle getting physical. Now, okay, here we go. Kyle immediately starts laughing like, oh, isn't this so funny that she looks over to Sutton as if to be like, can you believe they're bringing this up? And they cut to Sutton being like, I'm not about to laugh at this. This is not funny to me. And Kyle tries to show how physical she is. Like when you saw me touch Garcelle, I'm physical like that. And it's very different than what Brandy did to me when she was pushing me off of her. And right, Sutton, tell them, I didn't put that bruise on you. Well, it was makeup. Well, see, but I didn't do that. And when Sutton says, you were pushing very aggressively, I was like, thank you. Kyle refuses to acknowledge that what she did there was so out of line.
Yeah.
Every time, because I pulled so much content from that particular scene because there were so many moments in it.
Yeah.
Every time I watched it, I was pissed. Every fucking time. Because she grabbed Sutton so many times forcefully. Like, no, like put her finger in her face, grabbed her by both shoulders, whipped her back. No, like over and over and over again. And when Sutton tried to bring it up at their little dinner that they had, where Kyle was trying to apologize to her on camera, and Sutton was like, you were grabbing me. Oh, don't say that, Sutton. Don't say that. Oh my God, you were saying that. Okay, yeah. She keeps dismissing it.
Yeah.
And he said he got tons and tons and tons of people writing in saying, you were too physical. And she's like, okay, I'm getting really pissed off that she refuses to acknowledge it.
I'm just happy that Sutton stood strong and didn't allow Kyle to minimize it. Because like, I know Sutton has like a tendency to like kind of cower sometimes when it comes to these kind of confrontations, but she really stood firm in that. And I'm glad Andy pushed back, because Kyle tried to like kind of railroad over him. And he was like, no, I got a lot of people feel this way. Like, so we have to talk. A lot of people feel this way. So it must have happened. And it is the same exact thing, because Brandy, because Kyle keeps on making the excuse she was really intoxicated and that's why it came. And I know she said she apologized the next morning. All that's fine and dandy. Like, but we're here to talk about that in this moment and what happened. And also Brandy was super intoxicated, because as she is most of the time. So she pushed you down the stairs. So it was like,
and actually Kyle was grabbing Brandy. Like that's why Brandy pushed her off of her.
True.
I didn't like that Dorit said that Sutton trying to relate with the 2 miscarriages. She's like, that was her making it about herself. I'm like, Dorit, you better Dorit.
Yeah, because it's like, I am sorry about being dismissive of your robbery, but what you're not going to do is be dismissive of my miscarriages, because we've already moved past that.
Yeah,
Okay.
I thought we established by now that we're not doing that with Sutton. Yeah. I thought we've been over this. Yeah. Okay, bitch.
Because again, I think Andy, if I'm correct, was the person to, again, because we're trying to glaze over it, that essentially Kyle was accusing Sutton of lying about her miscarriages. So it's like, that's a big deal.
Miscarriages.
That's a big deal.
Like, she would lie about that just to be like, I've had 2 miscarriages. How about that?
And I know Kyle's trying to reformulate what happened there, and I'm not buying it. It's like one of those things where, you said something bad, but you're trying to like, maybe I can skew what I like, skew it now that I hear it. Like, that's not what I meant. I wasn't saying that you're lying. I just felt like you were just making it about yourself. And that's where that whole making it about yourself thing came about, where I do think she was, oh no. I do feel like my earring fell out.
Pia's earring fell out. Oh no.
Oh no. And then I'm falling apart.
Okay, I'll stop it.
My costume malfunction.
Yeah, no malfunction.
I don't even know what I was saying, but yeah, no, Sutton, they're rude. That's a sum up. They're just fucking rude people. I hate them.
Yeah, hate them. Andy goes, hey, Garcelle, you clearly spend the most time with Sutton. Do you think she makes it all about herself? And Garcelle is able to go, yeah, sometimes I think she does. And Rinna goes, ooh, like, because to them, if they are ever to say anything bad about each other, or like anything that's like slightly negative, or admit there's a flaw, it's like, oh my God, we could never.
Yeah.
But Sutton's just like, okay. Yeah.
And I
probably do.
And I do think that Sutton, and I feel like that's why it's so annoying, because I feel like they keep acting as if Garcelle is oblivious to Sutton's faults. And I've never felt that way. It's just the fact that they keep ragging on Sutton for dumb shit, And I feel like Garcelle does call Sutton out and does see.
That's the thing, is she's not a blind supporter.
Right. She's not.
Like, they are to each other.
And that's the biggest difference. And that's what I feel like they're like projecting. They're accusing Garcelle of what they actually do. And it's frustrating because I feel like we all see it. It's like, and I'm glad Garcelle was honest. She could have been like, she could have, as a friend, if you will, like they would just like not agreed with that. But yeah, she's like, no, all the time she does. Like, I don't think she necessarily thinks that with the particular Diana situation, but in general, sure. Like, especially more example of more of the Dorit situation. That would be an example of like her making it about herself. That would be the better example.
And some, like, you guys, we all have faults. Kyle has one, Dorit has one. Like, you guys fight all the time. Kyle and Dorit fight all the time because they clearly have faults. You guys would do just fine if you admitted those faults sometimes, because then you could move on quicker. But instead, you guys have to fight so hard about and try to be perfect that you can't get past conflict ever.
Right.
And so, yeah, good. This is what being real friends is. We can say this about each other and we can move on.
Yeah.
And then, this perfectly segues into Andy asking Erica, and this whole part was just chef's kiss. He says, hey, Erica, what do you mean by saying that Sutton is a liability for Garcelle?
Mm-hmm.
It was that, Garcelle always had to, defend Sutton. And then it turns into, well, isn't that basically what you all do for each other? And it just snowballs into this perfect, like, first Garcelle is able to go, yeah, hi, I've never had to take her out of a party. And it just stumps Erica. She's like, oh yeah, well, okay, so she has. Congratulations. It's like, yeah, hi, that's a pretty big deal. And then what does Erica say? She's like, okay, yeah, we're all different. Okay. And then Dorit starts to try to say something, but Andy notices Crystal saying something, and he goes, Crystal, what were you saying? And she goes, yeah, the four of you actually do what they do, if not worse, all the time. And then it just silence.
Yeah, they couldn't say anything because it's true.
Fuck you guys. You guys do it worse than this. Is the problem that the audience has with you all the time. So what exactly is your argument? That Garcelle is friends with Sutton?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, what is it? It's just the fact that you guys decided that you guys didn't like Sutton at the time. You didn't want anybody to be nice to her. That was what I got from it.
And so when Rinna defends Erica, or Erica defends Rinna, or Kyle defends Erica, what's the difference?
Or when all four of them defend Diana and still did it during this reunion, I don't think that one time they said anything negative about anything Diana said, did.
Right? Not once.
I really am trying to think of a time that any of them said it. Anything that bad that Diana said. They always excuse it. Well, you don't understand her.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
she has good intentions.
Yeah.
I feel like they keep using her being from another country as a scapegoat, as if fucking Garcelle's not from another country too. Technically.
Good point.
Like, and it's also like, I understand what you're saying, language barrier, but also culture. Like, we all have like, we're all from different, like, cuts of cloth. Like, everybody, like, Sutton's from the South, and the way that they speak is different than how you might have grown up, and Garcelle's from a different culture. Everybody's from somewhere. The way that Kyle and her dynamic and her family is, they interact, that's different. But they kind of keep on acting as if Diana, which to me is a little degrading. Like, you think that because she's from Bosnia, she doesn't have a fucking brain, and she can't like know right from wrong, and she can't decipher how to be a human being. Like, that's fucking stupid.
Yeah.
What? Stop
she
treating
needs all of you to defend her.
No, like, she's just because she's from Bosnia doesn't mean she doesn't know what the fuck she's saying or doing. Like, she knows what she's saying. Stop it.
I'm glad that Sutton finally clarifies the charity comment was not about the charity. It was about the thank you.
Yeah.
She's like, I wasn't trying to even talk about the charity. The charity was what we said. The charity wasn't the punchline. The punchline was they didn't say thank you.
Yeah.
Because it was in reference to the sauce.
Yeah.
I'm glad they didn't harp on that too much.
And I'm glad Sutton also pointed out, like, I said it as a flippant comment. It was never supposed to be like, and she was like, I wouldn't have said it if I thought it was going to create this huge ripple effect. Yeah, I'm sure she thought it was going to, like, you know, another quick dig was going to come back her way, but she didn't think that this was going to make such a crazy explosion in her and Rinna's friendship, and then the domino effect with the Fox Force 5.
I mean, it turned into something it didn't need to, because Rinna got busted for basically never paying to go to the Elton John charity event.
Yeah.
So, okay, viewer question comes in. Sutton, when will you realize that Rinna is not your friend?
Thank you for that question.
And then Sutton says, I'm not sure why you hate me so much. And Rinna goes, I'm sorry you feel that I hate you. What the fuck was, shut up.
I hate when people use that cop
I'm sorry
out.
you feel that. I'm sorry you feel that, fill in the blank. Okay.
Yeah, because it's still putting it back on you. Like,
that's not a sorry.
It's not a sorry. It makes it put it back on the person who's expressing their feelings, that it's almost like their fault for feeling whatever they're feeling from you. It's like,
how
what?
are you going to say, I'm sorry you feel that way? Why are you
So
sorry?
condescending. It's condescending.
Yeah. Why are you don't need to apologize for me feeling a certain way. And then Sutton's like, okay, but it also leaked on to social media. And Rinna goes, I had a really bad season, Sutton. And Sutton goes, yeah, but it was just directed at me. Okay. She's like, I don't consider you a friend. Okay.
I was happy Sutton said that.
Me too. Yeah.
Yeah.
Bye-bye.
Did you, when she said that, did you feel PTSD flashbacks of when Kim brought out the bunny? Because I swear to God, Rinna was going to conjure up that one tear when Sutton said, I don't consider you a friend. I just felt like they went back on Rinna like they did when Kim handed her the fucking bunny. She was like, I
didn't even think of that.
Oh, you didn't? Because it looked like she was like, oh. Like she was almost like, I felt like her reaction was like victim-y, like,
The more and more I look at Rinna, though, doesn't her hair look so strange on her? Like this wig is like, this doesn't look like Rinna. This look is like,
well, Rinna is definitely
this person.
The thing is, I don't think it's a bad wig or anything. I think it looks nice. I just think that because Rinna's like, damn it,
doesn't make sense on her head.
I mean, it's her own fault, because she's had that porcupine hairstyle for so long that whenever it's jarring anytime you see her in any other hairstyle.
No, I don't mind her in other wigs.
Okay.
It's just like this particular wig, I'm just like, this, it just doesn't make sense on Rinna. It's like,
well, I mean, none of her whole outfit doesn't.
Wavy Khloe Kardashian hair.
Well, that was Khloe Kardashian.
You know what I mean? It's like literally, she's like, I'm gonna look like Khloe Kardashian. It's like
Khloe Kardashian's literal outfit.
Like, you,
and even the styling of it, like
everything,
the necklace, it's actually what she looked like. Okay, I can't.
Yeah, it's like you're in a costume, like you're like playing like this is your Halloween costume. You're going as Khloe Kardashian.
Well, that's her thing. She loves to cosplay people. She did it. She started out with cosplaying. Remember, she kind of started out her cosplaying with Erica.
Yeah.
And then she just, like, anybody that she really like thinks is cool, she can't even like get inspired by. She just has to completely take their entire outfit, with like the blue outfit in the finale. Yeah. That was Kim's outfit from when she passed the baby bar. Her reunion.
I didn't mind her hair though in that though. Her hair I could sort of get behind. This just, I don't know. Everything about
but
her.
But it's still, her hair still felt costumey to me in the finale.
I
almost felt like she was like a superhero.
Yes. Did have superhero
like she thought she was gonna fly.
Yeah, she definitely had superhero hair for sure.
Like Wonder Woman, like she was gonna turn around.
Yeah, she was gonna turn around and like a cape was gonna come out of it and she was gonna take off. Very much that energy.
Yeah.
So then viewer question comes in with the Rinna's behavior towards Sutton at the wine tasting was bizarre, especially since we just watched her forgive Sutton at the lunch.
Yeah.
And even Andy's like, I was confused by that because, you know, I loved that scene with you guys at the lunch. What the fuck happened?
Yeah.
And Rinna goes, wasn't that a fun scene?
I hate her.
Like, what the fuck are you talking about, Rinna? Like, he's like, yes, it was. So what the hell happened at the wine tasting? But then when Sutton says, I was with you when your mom was in hospice, I was like, girl.
That was a bomb for me because that never got brought up on the show, which I'm surprised about, unless it just got cut.
It might have been edited out. Oh,
like that gives a
dirty.
Guy, like, first of all, we already felt like they were being mean to Sutton for like overly mean to her. Can you imagine if we were watching and we knew that how supportive Sutton was to Rinna when cameras were down? That shows someone's integrity. When it's not being filmed, she's not being supportive for TV. When cameras are down, she was there for you. And then cameras start rolling and you throw her under the bus, and as if none of that happened.
Wow.
Whoa.
Wow. That is horrific.
Disgusting.
And you're doing it just for the cameras, Rinna. I don't want to hear one other word. She tried at one point. She's like, well, you pissed me off. I'm like, no, she doesn't. She doesn't fucking piss you off.
Honestly, the only time I could agree with her saying she pissed me off is the watch what happens live comment.
That's it.
Everything else that we saw on the actual season, I do not think that, at least for Rinna, there was any reason for her to be acting the way that she was to Sutton. And they had already squashed that from first episode. So I'm so like, we can't even hold on to that watch what happened live thing. We talked about it until I was beaten to death like a horse in glue.
Oh my God. And then, okay, so Rinna apologizes. So Sutton says the glue thing. Rinna does give her the apology. I'm not even going to talk about how I feel about it because it's just purely for optics, in my opinion.
Of course. Oh, yeah.
But then fucking Dorit. Okay,
God
can I just say something? I didn't really understand the glue analogy. This is why I know they don't fill her in on any of their scheming because they're like, we can't tell Dorit, guys. They're like, no, we can't tell Dorit. No, we cannot tell Dorit.
And I really feel like Dorit felt like everyone was gonna be like, yeah, like what was like they thought
right? She was like, right, guys, what's that glue analogy about?
And everybody was
Am I
like,
right?
and no, that not even her like crew, like not even Eric and not even Rinna could even be like, honey, it's they make horror. God damn it, our dumb friend's talking. that was the energy. Like, shut the fuck up. Like,
totally. She is we talked about this on our bonus episode, but we talked about how back in whatever the season one was, where LVP, Kyle, and Dorit were like fighting for their friendship, like the trio of like. So it was Mean Girls. LVP was Regina George, Kyle was Gretchen Wieners, and Dorit was
Amanda Seyfried's character.
Amanda
I can't remember
Seyfried's character. Now I can't remember her name. Fuck, what's the name of that character?
Oh, almost had it. Shit.
Everyone knows what we mean.
Yes,
but she's like the dumb one who tells the weather based on her boobs.
Yes,
that is Dorit. Dorit is that one. So Dorit's like, I didn't understand the glue analogy, right, guys? They're like, no, Dorit.
Yeah, everyone knew. It was like funny because everybody one by one was giving her example, like, and they were like giving more information, like they were Wikipedia.
Yeah,
like she was like,
they're
like,
they're like out of the hooves. She's like, fuck, we all know this.
She were instant regret.
Like, I take it back. All right, so then we go to Rinna's social media. And she goes, I don't have any impulse control. You know, it's a dopamine high. I get high. Well, because then fucking Dorit comes in, like, you know, people who don't have impulse control, it's a high. They get a high from it. And this is the amount of like what's the word I'm looking for? Validation they give each other for their
Yeah.
bad behavior behind the scenes, you know, like the conversations they must have, like when they go to dinner and shit. It's like, you know, it's a high. It must just be when you don't have impulse control. It is a high. They've proven it. Like I'm sure they have had all these conversations.
I feel like
And
yeah, Kyle was
Go
probably
ahead.
Kyle was probably the only person that was like, okay, guys. Like,
I'm staying out of this one. No, we trust me. I've seen the feedback. And but she does claim, because Andy's like, so any attention, like good, bad, and Rinna's like, no, I don't like the negative attention. I'm like, bullshit. BravoCon obviously happened after this, but after getting booed, she's like, I loved it. I loved getting booed. So bullshit. You don't like negative attention, Rinna.
yeah.
Bullshit. You love any and all attention, claiming it's a high. Andy says that when he watches some of her posts, he's just like, what is she doing? Blaming production for things. I'm so glad he brought that up. He goes, why not call someone in production? ... Erica goes, well.
I just love
They have
when
no answer.
I just love when they like can't even. It's like beyond their control of like, I have to admit that she could do that.
They're like, it's like the same thing when they're like, how is that any different than you guys standing up for each other? They're like, well, it's not. I love when they get stumped. They're like, well, and then I think it's Kyle's like, that's there's no dopamine high from that one. Like they just have to make fun of it. Like,
Yeah.
there's no reason why she doesn't do that, because she's just being a fucking asshole.
Yeah.
There's the only answer. You're being an asshole, Rinna.
Yeah. And I think it contradicts what she just said. She enjoys being an asshole. So yeah, she could fix things behind the scenes if she cared to, but she wants to be an asshole because she gets some type of enjoyment from it. Like, that's
because she does truly need to be put on pause. Like the only way for her to learn is to be fired.
And I feel like when she said put me on pause, it was like a bluff thing. Like it's like, well, put me on pause. Like I wouldn't care. And it's give it to her then, please.
Give it to her. She needs it. Do it. Call her bluff. Call her bluff, please, you guys.
And she did it like the way she was like drinking her water when she said it too. She was doing it like, I dare you. Like, didn't it feel that way? Like, I dare. Put me on pause then. I felt like she was like, but you won't, because I am the show. That's the energy she was giving me.
Oh yeah, it was pure fear. And then she tried to say, when she tried to be like, I don't always realize when I'm doing something bad in the moment. And Kyle's like, oh, no,
thank you.
Don't. I was like, okay, Kyle really did not come to fuck with Rinna. Like Kyle's like, nope. And she goes, well, I don't know. Okay, sometimes I do. Yeah, that's what we thought. That's what we fucking thought.
But again, I feel like Kyle only said that because she's referring to what she's done to her on social media with the Kathy stuff. I feel like that's the only reason Kyle even said that. Because again,
of course, it's affecting her.
I hate Kyle because she only says anything when it affects her. It pisses me off. I fucking hate you.
I hate Kyle.
I hate Kyle. Hate her.
I hate Kyle.
I hate
her. Okay, so the post that Rinna put up is put into question about her being like, you know, if we fight with Garcelle, we're labeled as racist. But you know what? I'm not backing down. I'll fight all day with you hoes.
Yeah.
And so I'm glad that Andy puts this to Garcelle. Like, Garcelle, can you speak to this? I'm like, thank you. I'm so glad that Garcelle is there to address this.
Yeah.
And Garcelle says, look, if you're not around a lot of people of color, you're unaware of things that you do that can be microaggressions. So basically, like, Rinna, rather than be like, shut the fuck up, everybody, maybe be open to listening to the feedback, which is literally what we were saying.
Yeah.
I remember distinctly screenshotting that very post of Rinna's and posting in my story saying, rather than saying like, fuck you for calling me racist, maybe be like, oh shit, I didn't even know that. And learning from people that maybe are teaching you something that you don't know about because you're white and I'm white. I don't always know everything.
Yeah.
But instead of being like, oh, you hoes, just calling you just because I'm talking to Garcelle, that's what Garcelle's saying. If you're not around a lot of people of color, you may not know that these microaggressions exist. So then comes Crystal, and she says that's what happened with me in the conversation with Sutton. Now, I forgot that Garcelle said, much like the conversation that the situation that happened with Kyle and I with the charity not paying that thing. And so then when Crystal chimes in and says this is very similar to the conversation I had with Sutton, Kyle Kyle just should have let this fucking go.
Oh, you know she can't.
So Kyle is like, this is very different. And I really loved Crystal's energy, which was like, you just need to stop because you are white. And guess what? This is where you get to sit this one out. This is the one time in this reunion that only Garcelle and I get to speak. Okay? Just be quiet. But instead, Kyle is so determined to prove that Crystal was wrong for saying the dark stuff that she's like, I'm going to be bitchy as fuck to Crystal. But Crystal brought an energy that I wish we got more of this whole. I need more of this Crystal. I need Crystal to bring this all the time whenever a fight pops up.
Whoever her producer is needs to be like, this is what we need. This right here, because we're getting great feedback for this. If you want to stay on the show, this right here.
Your audience loves this, by the way. She's like, you need to stop. No, Kyle, Kyle, drop it. Fucking Kyle says, calm your tits. Calm your tits.
Bitch.
Did you just say calm your tits?
Bitch.
Calm your fucking tits.
Kyle.
And then when Crystal says, you only said you understood so you didn't get in trouble. She even did like a neck roll. She gave
It was one of she said it with her whole fucking soul body, because she was like, I wasn't gonna say it, and I know we all been thinking it, but bitch, you only apologized because you didn't want to get in trouble. And she mentioned it's like, and I mean that shit. Like, oh, it's like Crystal came to play.
And Kyle, like, you could tell Kyle freaked out at the direction the conversation. It was all over her face. She's like, oh shit, abort. This isn't going the direction I thought it would. Andy came in and saved Kyle, though. He's like, you're talking about two different things. She's talking about you mentioning the dark stuff and you're talking about your experience. And I'm like, it is true, but I would have preferred he say, Kyle, sit this one out.
Yeah, he's always fucking playing Captain Save-A-Ho for these Fox Force 5 people. So over it. Let them fucking drown.
I wish he had been like, no, Kyle, I think she's talking about what it's like to be a person of color experiencing something that us white people don't get. Okay, but he's still so pissed at Crystal from the dark comment. He's still so mad because then she had the audacity to be like, oh, no, I'm sorry. I misspoke on Watch What Happens Live. That's not what I meant. He's like, are you fucking kidding me?
I know.
Like he's still mad.
I hate that about Andy, though, because I'm like, fuck off. We were getting some good shit. Shut the fuck up.
We were. Get
out of your feelings. You're not like you're supposed to be neutral, bitch.
Yeah. He's like, I hate you, Crystal. That's basically what he said. He's like, Crystal, I don't care about you. I'm still mad at you. Kyle, you're cool. The Reed then asked point blank, let me ask you guys, is there anyone on this cast that you think is racist? And they have to say no. You can't say yes. I don't think anyone's overtly racist. However, Dorit is smart and says, we have a lot to learn. And they both adamantly say, yes, You do. You have a lot to learn. And Erica she says it, I think this is correct. This is not in, she says it's generations are different. Language is different. There's nuances, there's little subtle differences, but the consequences are huge. And our Garcelle says on both sides, I believe that's what she says. Basically, like, but let's worry more about us than you guys.
Yeah.
Let's worry more about the people of color rather than the poor white people. Oh, poor white people, man. They just have it so rough these days. So anyway, they go on break. And Andy goes, like, you could tell the prep for Kathy, like, that's all really everyone's panicking over. And he goes, okay, so they go on break. He goes, this is what's going to happen, guys. We're going to do one more package and then Kathy. It's like, okay, here we go. Here we go, everybody. Crystal, Garcelle, and Sutton, they go to do a shot. And then Kathy, like, they show Kathy getting out of the car with her, like, pajamas on.
And did we not call that last week?
We
did
exactly. We knew
we narrated that.
Nailed.
Like, if please someone go back and just listen to the last like part of the podcast. We narrated that to a motherfucking T.
Knew exactly how that was going to go. Kyle whispers to Andy, "Where's Kathy sitting?" Right next to you. Just like, oh, great. And Rinna then, though, like, Rinna is so nervous, but she is intentionally walking in front of the camera, like walking in front of the monitor. And she's like, all I have to do is tell the truth. That's all I have to do. Truth is on my side. All I got to do is tell that truth. I'm like, Rinna, we get it. You're saying it on camera. They've got the audio. You look crazy. You look paranoid.
Did it not?
This isn't helping you.
Did it give you? Did it give you a reminiscence of the Jinx when he was in the bathroom by himself?
But the opposite.
But like it didn't even feel like the opposite, because I still felt like she was telling on herself by even saying that I need to tell the truth. Like, why are you saying that so many times? Like, because it's not the truth. I need to tell the truth. All
I need to do is
whatever
tell
the truth of whatever I made up. Keep that truth. My truth.
The truth is the truth.
My
That's
truth.
The truth. Just tell the truth. The truth is on my side. All I got to do is tell it. Like, no one talks like this to themselves with other.
Yeah. Like, she just she seems so erratic and nervous that I was like, so she were not telling the truth.
Yeah. And she was purposely doing it right in front of the monitor, that she knew was live,
like a psychopath.
Right in front of that monitor. So she knew it was captured.
Let me tell you something. If I knew I was telling the truth and I had so much shit to drop, I had my receipts behind the pillow that I brought, that you better believe it, I got my receipts. Oh, I would be like, get me to this segment. Oh, get me to this segment. Get me to this motherfucking segment. I'd be so hyped. I'd be like, yes. I'd be on the couch like, guys, are we back from break yet? Let's go.
Yes.
Like,
me too.
So it, to me,
she looked the opposite of that.
Yeah.
She looked the exact opposite of that.
Yep.
Kathy brings her tequila next week. So I was dying. Andy goes, you've seen a lot on this show. That was what traumatized you?
Thank you, Andy.
Thank you. And Erica saying that we're on appeal for legal reasons. And Andy going, so that means you're trying to get the earrings back. We're on appeal for legal reasons. I'm like, oh, girl, okay. Okay.
Erica and she loves to do some legal jargon.
Her legal reasons. It's all the court of law. Remember, he beat the case. Michael Jackson beat the case.
So
fucking hell.
She just says any like phrase she's ever heard Tom say in the course of their dysfunctional marriage.
For sure. But then Kathy going, do you remember saying, oh, you're preaching to the choir. You're preaching to the choir. Remember saying that? I went, boom. That's the real version of what happened.
Exactly.
Kathy
she was
venting. And there was Rinna. Going,
egging her on.
Oh yeah, I know. Oh yeah, you're telling me. I agree.
And it doesn't, you can hear it. You can hear, you know that is exactly what happened.
Kate Chastain of Below Deck, I was like, we're best friends, because she tweeted and she said, all I know is if Kathy Hilton was bitching and moaning about a bunch of people, that would be my idea of one of the best nights in the world. I'm like, yeah. So you can't tell me, Rinna, that you weren't like, I love this.
Yeah, especially her dramatic ass. Please.
As if Lisa Rinna doesn't have her own problems with Bravo, NBC, the network, etc. Like, as if she doesn't equally hate them sometimes. Go fuck yourself, Rinna.
Right. And, you know, the thing is, she pulled this on the wrong sister. She could have gotten away with doing this whole same story with Kim, because we have seen Kim act erratic to the point where I'm like, maybe she was like scared because, you know, when Kim was drinking, like, who fucking knows, you know? That would have been a more plausible story for that sister back in the day. We would probably all have jumped on it and been like, oh my God, I believe that. The way that she was telling the story, I'm like, even if Kathy was doing even everything you said, I would love to see it.
Tell me about it.
I would love to see it.
Are you crazy? Please. So I'm loving that Kathy, because Kathy wasn't like blackout drunk.
No.
She remembers.
Yeah, she wasn't wasted. I mean, she might have been tipsy, but I don't think she was wasted.
Yeah, she wasn't like annihilated, like, you know, Carl from Summer House back in his drinking days. She was just mad.
Yeah. And then again, also, let's remember what network we're on, right? We're on a network where I saw a grown woman flip a table, push Andy Cohen in a reunion. I've seen hair being pulled. I thought all I'm describing is Jersey right now.
Jersey. I
was trying to do all franchises, but those were the easiest ones.
Okay, we got this. Hold on, we got this. We've got Luann falling in bushes.
Yeah.
We have Sonia like almost hitting her head on a table drunk, like falling down. Let's see what else we've had. We have Vanderpump Rules. We've had basically every physical fight you can imagine on Vanderpump Rules.
Stassi backhanded like a pimp.
Backhanded. We've
Kristen.
got Tom punched Jax right in the face. We've had James Kennedy punched Tom Sandoval right in the face, and that became an all-out brawl, like the whole entire restaurant.
We saw Jax rip off his white sweater in a parking lot. We saw Portia get put on pause for trying to kill Kenya on the reunion.
Yep. So please.
Oh, okay. And the Monique and freaking Candace fight.
Okay.
We've seen a lot.
So
you really, like, was there a murder? Because I think that's the only thing we haven't seen on Bravo.
And by the way, okay, let's also remember that, what was it, the night before, maybe 2 nights before, you pulled Erica out of the rental Aspen property to go back to Kyle's, who was ranting and raving about how she's innocent. Fuck those bitches. Fuck those fucking cunts. She was so pissed that she packed all of her stuff up and left. That didn't traumatize you?
Yeah. Oh, I forgot. There's a really good example. Amsterdam. When you try to choke Kim Richards, you broke a glass and you pointed it at her. I don't know.
So I'm just, so this is great. And now she's got to, like, she didn't anticipate having to commit for this long. She didn't anticipate it being argued with for this long, debated. So now she's got to commit this whole reunion. And from what I've heard, every time it gets real hot in the kitchen, she's going to keep going back to her mom's death. That's what I've heard. That could be rumor, but
I mean, she made it very clear that's what she was going to do from the very top of the reunion
with that damn bird. The little bird. I probably
surprised she doesn't bring it out as a little every time something happens.
It's not too late. She might bring it. She might just sit it like I'm on her lap
On
and just
her
hold
shoulder.
it. I brought my little bird. It's gonna be next to me. Yep.
It's right here. You guys see it? It's an eye line.
So next week, I will be recording from Hawaii.
What? You did not tell me that. Did you?
I could have swore I did, but maybe I didn't. I haven't really been talking about it much. I am going to be I leave on the 26th, which is Wednesday.
Nice.
And then I will be recording from Hawaii. I've already checked good Wi-Fi connection. I was like, that is the number one important thing. I cannot miss that recording. FYI.
You're so lucky. I've heard nothing but amazing things about Hawaii. I've never been, and I really want to go. So I'm so jealous.
I've been there once when I was 15 or 16, and it was such a bummer because day one we got there at like 4 p.m. So it was like in the later afternoon. I underestimated the Hawaiian sun. I did not put on sunblock.
God.
And I got so sunburned. I had blisters and I had to hide from the sun the rest of the vacation.
Oh no,
I couldn't go snorkeling. I couldn't go on the boat.
I've been on vacation with my ex-boyfriend. I remember we went to the Puerto Rico. The same thing happened to him. Boils. And then I have to put all that aloe vera on it and you guys can't move. Like I was like, that sucks. I almost feel like it gives me to be hospitalized.
Oh, you sometimes have to be, like, if it's bad enough. The hotel, because they clearly have seen this happen so many times, they put trash bags, like they open up trash bags on the bed and put aloe vera all over it and put a fan, like an oscillating fan. I was like a burn victim.
Whoa, that's crazy. That's crazy.
And it's so cold. So yeah, that was my last time in Hawaii. So I'm very excited to experience it in a different way.
Well, now you're prepared.
I have two friends of mine have been producing a reality show out there for Roku. Roku is breaking into the streaming world, and it's their first venture into reality TV, and they're wrapping that up. And so I get to stay in their condo, so I don't even have to pay for lodging. I just had to pay for my flight.
Nice.
I know. I'm so excited. This is my very first time going on a vacation for pleasure by myself, like without like a boyfriend or anything like that.
Well, I'm excited for you. That's the best place to do it.
My headphones just went out.
You sound so different without the headphones in.
I apologize. My AirPods ran out of batteries. So yeah, I will be recording from Hawaii. Don't worry, I won't miss next week, but I will not do a Salt Lake City episode next week. I will be taking that week off. But I'll talk about that on Salt Lake City.
I haven't watched the new episode yet, and I'm behind on Potomac, and I haven't started Potomac. If anybody was wondering, the first season yet, I will.
Kendrick, I told Kendrick, I'm like, Pia has not watched all of this.
Is he mad at me?
No, but he agrees. He's like, she has to.
Don't be mad at me.
It's just that it's such good TV, and it's just watch it because it's enjoyable.
Yeah. No, and I'm actually really I think that I was just set of not watching it just because, like, I mean, enough of the flashbacks have happened where I get an idea. I know it's not going to be the same, but I get an idea of the dynamics. So it's like, whatever, it's fine. I've gone too far now. Like, can't go back. But I feel like I really enjoyed the encouragement of rewatching it because it's like now it's like, oh, it's like a task, or not like in a bad way, but like in like, it's a goal or
Yeah, no, it's great TV. And so it won't be something that you're watching like as a chore. You'll be like, oh, this is fantastic. It's also great because from the first season, you're like, damn, I see why this like took off. Because what a weird thing to pitch, like a show where you can barely pronounce the city. You're like, how did they pick this up? But then you see it, you're like, oh, I get it.
And it's like, I know because I did come in on that like really crazy season of like Candace and Monique's falling out, and I know that there was a season prior where they had a falling out, and then they like I guess resolved it, but it was still tension, whatever. And I guess because I came in on that season, whatever Candace was doing in like campaigning to like be or change. Like I was like, I didn't get all that backstory where all the other viewers really hated Candace. So I was like, seems like she, like, maybe they had an argument. Like, I just didn't get the Candace hate. And I still, like, I see it and I understand how people might not like her, but like to the level that people did not like Candace, I wasn't like on that page. I was able to like be more empathetic towards Candace. So it'd be interesting if I could like be like, oh no, I can completely see why people were like, didn't even feel bad about Monique putting hands on her. Because I know my friends did not feel bad about Monique. They did not. They're like, you don't understand. And I'm like, yeah, no, I get that Candace is probably super annoying or whatever, but like, I just don't think that Monique, like, that was like necessary what happened, but like, you don't get it. I'm like, okay.
Yeah. No. And a lot of people came in on that season, and that's why if you came in on that season, it's like, oh,
you don't get it. Like, so there's a whole history there.
It's so fucking complicated. All right. This has been a very choppy episode. We've stopped and started so many times due to wardrobe malfunctions. Look, technical error. Look at this thing.
We've come a long way.
This looks ridiculous.
I like it. I like it.
It does look like Princess Diaries. Oh my God,
it looks like Princess Diaries.
It does look like Princess Diaries. I forgot about that cover, but when I got closer, I could see it. It does look like Princess Diaries.
It's iconic.
It's iconic.
Yeah.
So dumb. Okay, guys. Thanks for tuning in as always. And follow Piaget at PiagetV on TikTok and Instagram. Don't forget to like this video, subscribe, and hit that bell, and rate, review, all the things. And I love you guys. Mean it. Bye.
Bye.